Hi everyone, it's Heather with Blossoming Light, and I am back to do another weekly oracle card reading. This reading is for the week beginning August 22nd, 2016. However, I am doing it a little early. Today's August 18th because I want to give you two readings in one. So we're going to do the regular oracle card reading starting for next Monday. And then I'm also going to do an eclipse reading because today is the full moon eclipse and it starts another eclipse season, the second eclipse season of 2016. And it is going to prove some major shifts globally, and it may have a major impact on your life. So the first reading is going to start with I'm going to do the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I'm going to use those for the eclipse reading, and then I'll move on to another set of cards for the weekly oracle card reading. Okay, if you do see me drinking, my apologies if I have to keep drinking. I still am suffering from really extreme morning sickness and I'm very dehydrated, so I'm trying to force myself to drink a lot more water. So just bear with me if I have to stop and drink water. Okay, so I already shuffled the cards for the eclipse reading, and this is what came up. Abundance, blossoming abundance, yin yang, and caring connections. So these cards all came up separately, very different energy for each card, different stories. Sometimes the cards will all be joined together as like one reading across the three cards. However, today they came up very differently. So there's going to be some definite shifts and changes in our lives brought about by this eclipse. Now, the eclipses often illuminate things that we have been ignoring or things that we don't want to see, both in ourselves, in our relationships, work situations, our career, everything. There's things that get illuminated. The last eclipse season started in March of this year, and it totally flipped my world inside out. I don't know if some of you were very strongly affected by it, but it turned my life upside down in a very positive way, although it did not start out that way. And that's how some of these changes and shifts that we're going to feel from this eclipse may unfold in your life. So just be prepared. Unexpected events may crop up and you're like, oh my God, how did this happen? It could be good, it could be bad, it could be little shifts. I did a reading yesterday, I believe, on my Instagram. I just pulled a card, and for some of you, it's going to be some massive change. For some of you, it's just going to be little things. Okay, and if you have been wanting change in your life, if you've been wanting change either for your career or in a relationship or maybe your physical health, things like that, there's going to be something. You're going to get some sign. It may not be over the top, which for some may be a good thing, and for others, it could be over the top, and it could come across in a very negative way, but I promise you it is for the better. It's going to change your life in a very positive way. You just have to have faith that as you get through this situation, whatever situation may occur or unfold, as you get through this situation, it's going to be very positive for you, okay? And it's going to change you in a very, very good way. So our first card, abundance. There's going to be a lot of wishes coming true. A lot of you have been working really hard, striving for things in your career, striving for financial gain, things like that. Those things are going to start happening for you. It may not be exactly what you expected. It may not be what exactly you want. Don't fear. The universe is looking out for you, looking out for your best interests, and it is guiding you to what you eventually want, but maybe not down the same path that you're expecting it to be on. Okay, so let's do an example. Say you want a job. and you really want this job because it's right in alignment with your education or your background, and there's a lot of salary, like a salary increase and benefits and things like that, all sorts of perks. Well, maybe instead of getting this job, you don't get the job, or maybe something even worse happens, you get fired from your current job. It's not a disaster. The universe hasn't failed you. God hasn't failed you. It's you being guided by the divine to find a better path. Maybe that job wasn't in alignment with what your soul wanted, or what your destiny is, what your life path is. Maybe it wasn't right for you. So start thinking outside the box. Okay. Things oftentimes will get fired or have a blow up with our boss, or something like that during these type of astrological events, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's to force you to think outside the box, to force you to rethink your life and rethink your path. So don't fear. There is abundance coming for you. It just may not be exactly how you expected it. Okay, I know that's not what you want to hear. I know you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fired. No, don't think about that. Just think about good things are on the way. Okay, the universe is looking out for you, and your desires for abundance. Now, and this abundance, remember, is not just prosperity. It's not just money. It could be relationships. It could be health. It could be family. It could be happiness. So I use the career as, and salary and things like that as an example, but don't get hung up on abundance being just prosperity. Abundance is all the amazing things that fill your life with joy and that bring you happiness. Okay. So be open to it. It's good stuff. Good things are on the way. I promise. Okay. Second card, yin yang. Another thing this eclipse is going to bring about is balance. It is going to force you to balance. A lot of us, especially if we're trying to balance work and family, we probably fail at it most of the time. Either our family gets a whole bunch of energy and our career is put on hold, or maybe our career is front and center and our family gets put on the back burner. This eclipse is going to bring about balance, maybe forcefully. Like I said, the eclipse can rile up some things in your life, so be prepared. For example, me, with my pregnancy and my morning sickness, I'm having some difficulties, and I've probably been working too hard, and I know energetically my guides are like, okay, you need to slow down, you need to be careful, you need to, take it a little easy, you need to make sure you rest. That's the message I'm getting from my guides. So you could be in a similar situation. Hopefully you're not having pregnancy complications, but if you are having to balance family and work, or you're balancing work and your health or something like that, the universe is forcing you to make sure you balance, that you take care of yourself, that you do self-care, that you do things that you love and that you enjoy, and not just work constantly. Or if you are playing constantly, maybe it's time to get to work, doing something. Start working on your life path. Your eyes are going to be open, so start paying attention to signs. Start paying attention to where in your life you might need to balance, and you might start to see little changes, or you've already felt a major impact. Now, we have 2 more eclipses coming. I believe they're both in September, and we're also in the middle, not in the middle of, we're beginning a Mercury retrograde. So there's all sorts of cosmic events going on right now that are really going to shake up our life. And so be watchful, be mindful. Everything that's happening is for your betterment, okay? So try not to worry, try not to get freaked out, try not to overstress. And I say that as we're coming out of a full moon. Full moons always make me incredibly on edge, and I know they do other people as well. So try to take deep breaths as we continue through the eclipses and more full moons, with more full moons on the way. Okay, now last card, and then I will go on to the weekly reading. Caring connections. Okay, So this eclipse may also bring up some relationship issues, okay? Whether you're in a relationship, a marriage, or a partnership that it hasn't been going so well, this is going to really highlight it. Possibly in a bad way, but that's only at first, okay? It's forcing you to really take a look at this relationship or this partnership and really look at what is important to you, okay? The I will be honest, the full moon, or I'm sorry, not the full moon, the eclipse in March almost caused a divorce between my husband and I. It was a very bad time, but it turned out to be very, very, very positive, incredibly positive, and it changed our marriage for the much, 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 much better. So be watching for things like that, and you might have to change your mindset, okay? You might have to come out of whatever thoughts you've had about your partner or your spouse. You might have to pull back on those thoughts and say, okay, where am I to blame in this? Now, I'm not saying, necessarily you're to blame. It could be a lesson. Now, with me, I will say I was to blame. I not entirely, but there were big mistakes that I was making. And the eclipse really forced me to take a look at what I had been doing, and not only my husband, but what we had both been doing to each other. And so look for, if you're going through these kind of relationship issues, and it could be family too, look for the lesson here. Take a step back. You need to change your perspective. Take a step back and think about, okay, how can I maybe understand from their perspective, or what is the lesson here? It could be a lesson not even about the other person. It could be a lesson for you, whether it's empowerment or holding on to things or something like that. So there's a great variety, and I'm sorry I can't narrow it down because it depends on your situation. But if you're not sure about how to proceed, or what the lesson is, or what you need to learn, or what you need to see, just ask your guides, ask your angels, please help me. They will step in, as I always say, they're not going to step in unless you ask for it. So ask for help. Ask them to illuminate what it is you need to learn, or what you need to change about your situation to improve what's going on. Now, I'm not saying that a relationship won't end. Maybe that's the best thing. But you're going to have to figure out how that unfolds for you and how that's best for you. Okay? Your relationship could do a 180, and it could go from awful to amazing. So it's all going to play out differently for everyone. But just be aware that those relationship things are being highlighted. Relationships in family, relationships in love affairs, relationships in friendships, everything like that is being highlighted right now. So take a look at those. Okay, now I am going to pop off, and I will pop back on after I've shuffled and picked the cards for the weekly oracle card reading. Okay, bye. Hey guys, okay, and I'm back with the oracle card reading for the week beginning August 22nd, 2016. I'm going to be using the fairy deck again like I did last week, and it's the Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay, so the cards I pulled, fairy tales, mother and daughter, and beauty's truth. Okay, so these cards really came across to me as aligning with what I just talked about for the eclipse reading. The fairy tales, letting go, moving on. There are going to be either situations or people or ideas that you're going to come across next week that are going to be highlighted that you're going to need to decide to let go of. There are probably things that have been holding you back spiritually or in certain aspects of your life, whether love, whether career, whether spiritual development, life path, things like that. It's things that are standing in your way. Now, I talked about in the eclipse reading relationships. Relationships are going to be highlighted. So for some of you, you're going to have to make the decision that it's time to move on, that it's time to let go of what you're holding on to because it's not healthy for you any longer. This could be jobs too. Maybe your current career or current job situation, specifically a job, isn't working, or it's blocked, or you can't seem to move ahead, or get what you need or what you want from that position. So it may be time to move on. Or it could be ideas. It could be ideas about yourself. I did a psychic fair a couple weeks ago, and for so many of the readings, I saw the solar plexus chakra just screaming to be healed. I know that's one of my problem areas. It's a problem area for a lot of people because there's so many things that happen to us throughout our lives that steal our empowerment, that tamp down our personal empowerment, our power over ourselves, and our ability to see ourselves as a treasured and valuable member of society. We get hammered down by parents. We get hammered down by coworkers or bosses. We get hammered down in relationships, and we start to feel like we're insignificant and we're not important. And we all are. We're all very important to ourselves. That came out very odd. Sorry. We all have a very important piece to play in the evolution of the world and spiritual evolution for others. And you all have a purpose. We all have a purpose. And it's finding that purpose, and not always do we feel that we have a purpose. We do. It's very special. Everyone's is unique. Everyone's is beautiful. And it's something that you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that mentality of, because you lose your sense of self, I guess. You lose, that kind of destroys your self-love, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm babbling. It's coming across, I'm not able to quite explain it as well as I'm seeing it, so my apologies. But the whole point is that there may be some ideas that you have to let go, some things that you've been holding on to. It could be dreams. It could be a dream. Maybe that dream is just not in alignment with your life path, with your destiny. And sometimes it's time to let it go. It could be a very painful process of trying to let this goal or this dream go, but you'll see, you'll figure things out. Just stay attuned. See what patterns might be coming across or coming up in your life that maybe aren't showing you that you need to let something go, but that you keep getting blocked at. Maybe it's not even having to let something go, something like a dream. It's just letting a certain aspect of that dream go, or changing it, or altering it a little bit. Okay? I know that's not very specific. I read for a whole lot of people, so it's going to be different for everyone. So you just have to pay attention and see how you feel regarding whatever starts coming up next week to possibly be let go of. Okay? Okay, next card, mother and daughter. If you don't have a daughter, don't worry. This isn't about a mother-daughter thing. This is kind of about your inner child. It's about nurturing and self-care and taking some time to get back in touch with your inner child. Maybe you've been working too much. Maybe you've been focused on family and career and things like that, and you haven't allowed your inner child to come up and not necessarily have fun or be a child, but to be loved. And again, I had mentioned the solar plexus chakra, loving yourself. And that's where the self-care comes in. Making time for yourself and doing things that are important to you. Maybe self-care is taking a bubble bath and just relaxing. Maybe your self-care is going hiking or going shopping or going to a skate park and, I don't know, flinging your body around on a skateboard. I have no idea. Whatever you just really brings you joy and helps you let loose and lets your inner child come out. That's what you want to do. You want to figure out something that'll help you let loose and release and relax, but also that nurtures your ability to love yourself. Okay, that's the key. Allows you to love yourself, and that kind of ties in to beauty's truth. Beauty, physical pleasure, sensuality. That's experiencing life. It doesn't have to be referring to physical pleasure like sex. Sensuality could be just indulging in your environment. You're really using your senses. Taste, feel, touch, sight, things that you really love. I, for one, love food. But there's so many other senses that you can feel, going outside and standing in the rain and just letting the rain wash over you and cleanse you. Sight, maybe go to a lookout point and just, look at the beautiful surroundings that you live in or somewhere that's close to you, or go exploring. Travel, you want to focus. There's a lot about next week that's focused on you. And again, we talk about the letting go. What ideals or aspects of your life that make you feel less than what you should about yourself? What in your life makes you feel trapped or out of your element, or not like you're being truthful and honest with yourself, not things that keep you from being authentically who you are. Now, this isn't to say that being out of your comfort zone is a bad thing. I'm saying things that make you feel poor about yourself, things that make you feel like you don't have any power in your life, whether it's people or a situation or maybe your health. That could be a big thing too. How can you change your life to improve your health, to make you feel really awesome and wonderful about yourself? So next week, the energy is really focusing on you. These eclipses, as we're going to see, are really forcing us to take a look at who we are and become more authentic with ourselves. That's kind of the theme of all of the 3 eclipses. The first one is revealing, there we go, revealing some truths to us, to make sure our lives are kind of where they're needing to be, where they should be. But all of these eclipses are putting us in a pattern of authenticity. What are we doing or what are we not doing that our soul wants us to be doing? That how are we failing our life path? I don't want to say failing, that's not the right word, but how can we better align ourselves with our soul and what we're here to do? That's kind of the theme of these eclipses. So just know that the things that really make your heart sing, that really just bring you joy and that you're passionate about, those things are going to be more in alignment with your life path than maybe some of the things you're doing currently. Same with people. The people in your life may not be part of your life path. They are there for a very important purpose right now, but they may not be part of your life path down the road, okay? Like I've said before, relationships all are all very important to our development. Everyone that we meet comes into our life to teach us something, to reveal something to us. And sometimes those relationships don't last. So as we're going through this, and these eclipses and all this change, know that people and situations are very fluid in our lives, and it's okay. It's totally okay. Just be honest with yourself about it, that things may not be forever that way, and that's okay. Okay, I hopefully that's not a negative note to end on, but just let's think about something positive. So next week, think about things that make you really happy. Think about things that you love to do, that bring you joy. Think about what makes you happy, whether it's dancing to the radio or singing at the top of your lungs in the shower or whatever. Think about those things and focus on it. Focus on how you can rest and spending time with your family or your friends or things like that. Okay, it's gonna be, the overall feeling of next week is good. The energy doesn't feel intense or anything. It feels somewhat slowed down a little bit, but there's still going to be things happening. There's still going to be movement under the surface, and it doesn't feel very stressful, but it is the energy is very focused on your for our throat chakras. Okay, so if you don't know what the throat chakra is, it's your voice. It's the voice of your soul. Okay, it's your personal well, it's your authentic self. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, sending everyone love and light. I hope you have wonderful things on the way to you, and if some not so great things crop up, you're okay. I promise you will make it, and it's gonna be good for you. That's so cheesy. My apologies. Okay, love and light, everyone, and I will see you next week. Okay, bye.